Stop scrolling, because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you see attraction forever. Most men think younger women are drawn to looks, money, or charm. They think a simple compliment or a clever line will make her melt. They are wrong, dead wrong. What I'm going to share with you today is something most men will never understand, something so powerful that it will leave you wondering why no one ever told you this before. Younger women are tired of shallow words. They are tired of empty flattery. They are tired of men chasing attention without understanding what really matters. And this is where you come in, because the truth is, if you know how to speak to what she cannot resist, you don't just get her attention, you create a connection that is unforgettable, irresistible, and unlike anything she has ever experienced. I'm going to teach you 8 compliments, yes, 8, but not the kind you've heard 1,000 times. These are the words that hit deeper than the surface, words that make her feel seen, understood, and drawn to you in a way that defies logic. These are the words that turn ordinary attraction into a force she cannot ignore. And the best part, it's not about being flashy, it's not about pretending, and it's not about manipulation. It's about presence, depth, and emotional understanding, qualities that most men don't even know exist. So, if you want to understand what makes a younger woman truly respond, if you want to stand out in a way no one else can, and if you're ready to hear the kind of truth most men would kill to know, stay with me until the very end, because what I'm about to reveal will make you see attraction, connection, and influence in a completely new way, and it will make her remember you forever. When it comes to attraction, most men think it's about saying the right words, using the right line, or complimenting the right part of her body. That's the easy route, the route everyone else takes, and it's exactly why younger women have become numb to so many compliments. They hear them all day, every day, and the words lose meaning because they're shallow, predictable, and empty. But what makes a younger woman pause, what makes her truly feel something, is depth. It's not what you say about her looks. It's what you say about her essence, her energy, the parts of her that most people ignore. That is where real power lies, and that is what an older man can offer that no younger man can. Think about it. A younger woman is surrounded by noise. Men tell her she's beautiful, she's hot, she's perfect, but none of those words speak to who she actually is. They are superficial. She doesn't need another voice telling her what she already knows or what she sees in every mirror. What she craves, often without realizing it, is someone who notices what she can't say about herself. Someone who sees the calm in her movements, the thoughtfulness behind her words, the quiet confidence that others miss. That is a compliment she can't resist, not because it strokes her ego, but because it validates her reality. When an older man says, "There's something peaceful about the way you move," it's not just a line, it's a recognition of her being. It communicates that he observes, he understands, and he respects the essence that makes her unique. The difference between shallow flattery and profound recognition lies in intent. Shallow flattery comes from a desire to get something, it's transactional. You say something to elicit a reaction, a smile, or a kiss. Depth, however, comes from awareness. When you observe a woman and acknowledge the truth of who she is, you are not performing. You are seeing. And humans, especially younger women, respond to being truly seen because it awakens something in them that has been starved in the modern world, the sense that someone notices the real them, parts that are often overlooked. This is why older men have a unique advantage. With experience comes the ability to slow down, to observe, to appreciate subtleties. A young man may notice her curves, her dress, her laugh, but an older man notices the way she carries herself, the choices she makes without fanfare, the way her presence affects a room. When you verbalize that recognition, when you articulate her subtle power, you don't just impress her. You connect with her on a level she has never experienced before. That connection is magnetic because it bypasses surface attraction entirely. It touches something deeper, something that feels rare, intimate, and irreplaceable. And it's not about being poetic or rehearsed. It's about being present. Observe her, notice the patterns in her behavior, the calm in her gestures, the intelligence behind her decisions. Then acknowledge it sincerely when you say, I like how you think, or there's a calm in you that I haven't seen in anyone else. Those words land because they are rooted in observation and truth. They aren't words to get a reaction, they are words that honor her, and when a younger woman feels honored for who she is, not just how she looks, she will remember it. She will carry it with her. She will feel a pull toward the man who saw her in ways no one else did. The modern world teaches women to expect noise and distraction. The modern world teaches men to chase what is visible, to complement what is obvious. But what stands out, what truly captivates, is depth. Depth requires courage, patience, and awareness. Depth requires that you care more about understanding her than impressing her, and that is the power of an older man who speaks with intention. You are not just giving a compliment, you are offering validation of her being, and in that validation, you create a magnetic force that cannot be ignored. So remember this: stop chasing reactions, stop relying on empty words, and start seeing what others overlook. Speak from observation, from awareness, from respect. When you do, you will discover that a younger woman responds not to the compliments she expects, but to the ones she never thought she would hear. Because depth is rare, and when it touches her, it leaves a mark that no superficial praise ever could. And here is the truth to leave with you. The most irresistible words a man can offer are not the ones that appeal to her eyes. They are the ones that touch her soul. Be that man. See her fully, speak from truth, and watch as a connection unfolds that goes far beyond what most men ever hope to achieve. When it comes to attraction, younger women are often bombarded by energy that is frantic, chaotic, or insincere. They are approached by men who are loud, overconfident, or desperate to impress. In this noise, their instincts become finely tuned. They can smell pretense, they can sense urgency, and they can detect when someone is chasing them for the wrong reasons. What draws them, what truly captures their attention, is not how flashy or bold a man is, it's how safe he makes them feel. Emotional safety is not a cliché. It is a form of quiet power, and it is one of the most irresistible qualities an older man can offer. Think about it for a moment. A younger woman spends much of her life navigating attention that is transactional, attention that values what she looks like, what she can give, or how she performs. That attention is temporary and often hollow. But when a man, older and experienced, approaches her in a way that conveys calm, understanding, and presence, he communicates something far more profound: that she does not have to perform, that she can simply exist, and that her existence is enough. When you can make her feel seen without the pressure to impress, when you can offer respect without expectation, you are speaking to a deep, almost primal part of her mind that is craving stability and recognition. That is where attraction begins. Emotional safety is seductive because it bypasses superficiality. Words like, "I feel calm when I'm around you," or "you make people feel comfortable just by being yourself," are not ordinary compliments. They are acknowledgments of a woman's impact on the world around her, and they validate her sense of identity in a way that goes far beyond appearance. When she realizes that your attention is not a trap, when she senses that your admiration comes without manipulation, she begins to relax, she begins to trust, and she begins to notice a connection that most men will never achieve. There is also a psychological dimension to this that cannot be ignored. Humans are wired to seek safety emotionally, physically, mentally. For a younger woman, the modern dating world is filled with uncertainty, instability, and often emotional manipulation. When an older man communicates calmness, stability, and thoughtful presence, he bypasses her defenses. He does not need to impress her with games, with wealth, or with bravado. He impresses her by providing a space where she can lower her guard and feel understood. That is power, that is attraction, that is magnetic, but emotional safety is not passive. It requires awareness and intentionality. It requires listening more than speaking, observing more than performing, and responding with authenticity rather than with expectation. When a younger woman senses that a man notices her thoughts, her moods, and her subtle cues, she begins to experience something transformative. She begins to feel, sometimes for the first time, that she can be fully herself and still be appreciated. That appreciation does not come from shallow admiration. It comes from the recognition of her complexity, her contradictions, and her individuality. It is in these moments that the connection deepens, that trust forms, and that attraction becomes undeniable. Emotional safety also amplifies the impact of every other compliment you give. When a woman feels safe with you, your words resonate more profoundly. "I like how you think," or "there's a calm in you that I admire," are no longer just statements, they are revelations. They are experiences she feels in her body, in her nervous system, not just in her mind. And when she experiences that, she remembers it. She carries it with her long after the conversation ends, long after other men have tried and failed to leave an impression. Here is the secret that most men never understand. Emotional safety is seductive because it is rare. Younger women are conditioned to expect performance, manipulation, or instability from men. They are not conditioned to expect calm, understanding, or thoughtful presence. That rarity is what makes it magnetic. That rarity is what makes her heart open, her attention stay, and her energy gravitate toward you without effort. So understand this clearly. Making a younger woman feel emotionally safe is not about saying the right lines or complimenting her looks. It is about your energy, your presence, and your capacity to observe without judgment, to listen without interruption, and to validate without expectation. When you master this, you are no longer just another man in her world. You are a force she cannot ignore, a presence that draws her in without manipulation, a connection she will never forget. And remember this as you leave today. Attraction is not about impressing her. Attraction is about allowing her to relax into herself in your presence. Be the man who creates that space, speak with awareness, act with intention, and observe the subtle ways she responds. When a younger woman feels emotionally safe with you, you are no longer just noticed, you are unforgettable. In the world of attraction, most men operate on the surface. They see a woman and immediately focus on what is visible, her appearance, her style, her smile. These things matter, of course, but they are only skin deep. If all you do is compliment what she already knows, you are participating in the noise that surrounds her every day. Younger women are constantly told they are beautiful, hot, or desirable, yet these words rarely make them pause or feel truly seen. What resonates, what shocks them, what makes them remember you, is when you notice the parts of them that are unspoken, unperformed, and authentic. That is the power of validation, and it is one of the strongest tools an older man can wield. Validation of her essence is not about telling her what she wants to hear. It is about recognizing the qualities that define her character, the things that are intrinsic to who she is, not what she projects for the world. When you say, "I like how you think," or "I admire the way you set boundaries for yourself," you are acknowledging her agency, her intelligence, her integrity. You are not commenting on her looks, her body, or the way she dresses. You are commenting on her being. And when a woman feels that her being is recognized, she experiences a rare form of connection that many have never offered her before. Think about the psychology of this for a moment. Humans crave recognition. We crave the sense that someone sees our inner world, our values, and the effort we put into navigating life. Younger women, especially, live in a world where performance is constant. They are expected to be attractive, fun, confident, and agreeable all at once. It is exhausting. When an older man recognizes her essence, he offers a reprieve from this performative pressure. He tells her, without saying it outright, that she does not need to perform for him, that who she is in her natural state is enough. That is magnetic. That is unforgettable. Validation of essence also communicates respect in a way that ego-focused compliments never can. If all you ever tell a woman is that she looks good, she may appreciate it briefly, but she will immediately categorize it as superficial. When, however, you recognize the discipline, the intelligence, or the authenticity behind her choices, you are communicating a much deeper respect. You are saying, in effect, "I notice you, I understand you, I value you beyond what you show to the world." That kind of respect is intoxicating because it is rare. Most men do not possess the awareness, maturity, or emotional intelligence to compliment someone on what truly defines them. This is where older men have a natural advantage. Experience teaches patience, observation, and depth. A younger man may rush to comment on what he sees in the mirror or in a photo, but an older man notices patterns, values, and character. He sees how she carries herself under pressure, how she navigates her emotions, and how she interacts with others. When he acknowledges these qualities sincerely, he is not flattering, he is recognizing reality. And when a younger woman experiences this, she cannot help but be drawn to it. The beauty of this approach is that it creates a connection that is not dependent on charm, manipulation, or superficial attraction. When you validate her essence, you are creating a space where she feels understood on a fundamental level. She begins to trust your perspective, she begins to feel comfortable showing more of herself, and she begins to associate your presence with authenticity and depth. That is a level of attraction that goes beyond physical desire. It is emotional, intellectual, and profoundly magnetic. Furthermore, this kind of validation leaves a lasting impression because it is memorable. She will forget the generic compliments, the obvious flattery, and the empty lines. What she will remember is the man who saw her for who she truly is, the man who noticed the subtle brilliance behind her calm, the thoughtfulness behind her words, the strength behind her boundaries. That memory becomes an anchor. It becomes a touchstone she returns to mentally and emotionally, long after the interaction is over. So understand this clearly. If your goal is not just to impress but to connect, your words must reflect understanding, awareness, and genuine recognition. Speak to her mind, her choices, and her values. Recognize the discipline, the courage, and the intelligence that define her. Speak from observation, not desire. When you validate her essence, you step beyond the shallow currents of attraction and into a depth that is rare, compelling, and unforgettable. And here is the closing truth to hold onto. Younger women do not respond to words that stroke their ego. They respond to words that honor their being. Be the man who sees her essence, not just her appearance. Speak to what makes her her, and you will create a connection that goes far beyond the ordinary, a connection that lingers, resonates, and cannot be ignored. There is a fundamental truth about attraction that most men overlook. It is not the words themselves that are magnetic, but the presence behind them. A younger woman does not respond merely to compliments, charm, or clever lines. She responds to energy. She responds to a man who inhabits his space with confidence, awareness, and authenticity. This is the power of presence, and it is something that cannot be faked, rehearsed, or bought. It is earned through self-awareness, emotional control, and the ability to fully inhabit the moment. Think about the moments in your life when someone truly captivated you, not through flattery, not through performance, but through their very presence. You noticed their calm, their focus, the way they made the world around them feel more grounded. That is the effect a man with presence has on a younger woman. He does not chase, he does not perform, he does not seek validation. He exists fully, and in that existence, he communicates a strength and authenticity that is irresistible. Presence begins with awareness. When you are present, you are fully attuned to her, not just what she says, but what she does not say. You notice the subtle shifts in her tone, the fleeting expressions in her eyes, the small gestures that reveal her mood and intentions. You do not rush to fill the silence or to react. You observe, you reflect, and you respond thoughtfully. This attentiveness communicates to her that she is seen in a way that goes beyond superficial attention. She senses that you are not distracted, that you are not performing, and that your energy is aligned with truth rather than desire. The beauty of presence is that it amplifies everything else you do. When you compliment her, it lands deeper. When you recognize her essence, it resonates more. When you create emotional safety, it becomes more profound. A simple phrase like, "You make time feel slower when you are around," is not just a compliment, it is a reflection of your awareness and your ability to inhabit the moment with her. It tells her that her presence matters, that it affects you, and that she has left an impression that is more than skin, deep. That is the kind of subtle power that younger women cannot resist. Presence also communicates stability and control. In a world filled with uncertainty and constant stimulation, a man who is fully present becomes an anchor. His calmness and focus suggest that he is grounded, that he is not easily swayed by external pressures, and that he is capable of navigating complexity with composure. This is profoundly attractive because it contrasts sharply with the chaos and superficiality that surrounds her in daily life. She instinctively recognizes that being in your presence is a safe space where she can be herself without judgment or performance. It is important to understand that presence is not about dominating the conversation or asserting control. It is about embodying a state of being that communicates confidence, patience, and understanding. It is about showing her through your energy that you are comfortable in your own skin, and that you are capable of appreciating hers without neediness or demand. Presence is the language of unspoken connection. It is what she feels in her body long before she consciously understands it in her mind. The effect of presence is subtle, but it is profound. Younger women are drawn to men who are fully alive, fully aware, and fully engaged in the moment. They notice when a man is distracted, when he is seeking approval, or when he is performing. They respond with intensity when a man is genuine, calm, and observant. Presence communicates that you are someone worth noticing not for superficial reasons, but for the depth of your energy and the authenticity of your being. And here is the truth that separates ordinary men from those who are unforgettable. Presence cannot be faked. Compliments without presence are meaningless. Recognition without presence is forgettable. Safety without presence is temporary. But when your words, your actions, and your energy are aligned in a state of full awareness, you create a magnetic force that is impossible to ignore. You are no longer just another voice in a noisy world. You are an experience, a moment, a force that she will remember and carry with her long after the interaction ends. So remember this: attraction is not about what you say, it is about how you exist in her presence. Be aware, be grounded, and be fully engaged. Let your energy speak louder than your words, and let your presence validate, amplify, and honor everything she is. When a younger woman senses that you are truly present, that your energy is aligned with truth and authenticity, she does not just listen, she feels. She responds, she remembers, and leave this with you as a final thought. The most unforgettable men are not the loudest, the richest, or the flashiest. They are the ones whose presence speaks before their words, whose energy commands attention without demand, and whose authenticity leaves a mark that cannot be erased. Master your presence, and you will discover an attraction that transcends beauty, desire, and superficial charm. Be that man, and you will be unforgettable.